G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. Interesting thing I'm looking at today. I've got someone bought in an E-Flite Hawker Hurricane, and one of the aileron servos making a sound like it's full of rocks. It's brand new, has never flown, it's never been banged around. It's just, you know, the guy put it together. Basically, there's not much to put together with the E-Flite Hawker Hurricane. And one of the servos making an awful noise, so we thought it was a stripped gear because it was grinding and graunching. Thought, okay. And the guy who owns the Hurricane went and contacted the model shop he bought the plane from, and they sold him 2 replacement servos because they didn't have the exact one. They wanted, so you want to change both servos if they're on ailerons because you can get all sorts of problems if one servo's faster than the other or whatever. So this is a story of a tale of woe, many tales of woe. I'm going to fill you in on what I'm talking about here. Okay, here's the Hurricane I'm talking about, and listen to this servo. I hope the microphone picks it up. This is the aileron servo we're talking about. Sounds like it's got rocks in it. It's a piece of shite. This is the servo that came out of the Hurricane. It's a metal geared E-Flite servo. Let's take a closer look at it. Now that's the model number of the servo there. Metal geared, digital, you know, okay, all well and good. And here is the servo. I've just dismantled it. And initially I thought, well, you know, it must be a stripped gear or something, but it's not. I ran the servo and there's no gears stripped. I've taken the intermediate shaft and gears out and they're all good. All the gears are fine. Turns out what it is, I think, is that the potentiometer shaft is bent, and I'll show you, I'll put it together and show you what that looks like. Right now in budget servos, the potentiometer output shaft, see there's no bearing in here. This is, when I say budget, these are not cheap because they're branded Horizon or E-Flite. So they're not cheap, they're not like your little, you know, Turnigy or HobbyKing 9 grams, 10 gram, 11 gram servos. These are quite expensive, 3, 4, 5 times the price of the HobbyKing servos, at least in New Zealand. So there we go, that just runs in the case. Here's the gears. I put the intermediate shaft and gears back in, and I'm just going to run this on cycle on my servo tester so you can see what's going on here. Now watch the output shaft. See how it actually deflects as it gets to the end of the throw there? It's actually bent. The output shaft is moving backwards and forwards quite noticeably there. Okay, so the shaft from the potentiometer is bent. Now this is new, straight out of the box. Hasn't been abused, because if you'd given that a good bang, it would almost certainly damage one or more of the gears, the plastic gears in there. So that's pretty bad. Okay, now here's the servo that the hobby shop sold him as a replacement for that servo. Now it's pretty much the same servo. It's branded Horizon because E-Flite and Parkzone, both Horizon products. This is the Parkzone servo, but remember the one we saw before had metal gears. It's come out of a reasonably large model, Hawker Hurricane, and if Horizon think that the ailerons deserve metal gears, then they deserve metal gears. But the retailer, the hobby shop he bought the Hawker Hurricane from, sold him these with plastic gears. I mean, that's pretty bad. I hear a lot of people, you know, a lot of hobby shop owners complaining, oh, you know, it's terrible, the Chinese are stealing our business and we're losing money because people buy stuff overseas instead of coming to the hobby shop and getting all the benefits of our wisdom and help. Well, that's not much help. It's not much wisdom's gone into that because they've sold him a nylon-geared replacement for a metal-geared servo. So I would, you know, if Horizon think it needs metal gears, then the hobby shop owner selling them something with plastic gears, it's a fail. And that's why hobby shops are not doing very well because, okay, not all of them, there are some really good hobby shops out there. This one, I'm sorry, they don't get a thumbs up from me because they sold them the wrong servos. And 25 New Zealand dollars, originally $32, $25 I think he paid each for these servos, these nylon-geared servos. I mean, hell, that is crazy because I'm going to show you something else. We're talking about the quality of the servos. I'll show you that first servo again. Hang on a minute. Now, as I always do when I pull a servo apart, I had a good look at it to see how well it was made. Now, this is a Horizon servo, branded E-Flite. If you look on the side of here, you can see Horizon Hobby Inc., right? So you'd expect you're paying a premium price, much more than you pay for your HobbyKing or your wun-hung-low or your Wong-Fu brand servo. So you'd expect reasonable quality. Let's take a look at the circuit board here. Look at that. Look at that big blob of solder there. That is unbelievably bad. This is crap. I mean, this has been made to such a low standard. Why are you paying a premium for this servo? Now, I've got no beefs with Horizon. You know, I've never had any problems with Horizon. But, I mean, this is just awful. And this is a premium product because you're paying a premium with the Horizon name. And The equivalent wun-hung-low brand servo is costing a quarter of the price of this thing. At least in New Zealand it does anyway. So it's got a crappy big blob of solder. It came with a bent pot shaft, which is causing the gears to mesh badly, and it creates a lot of noise and it doesn't work properly. What a piece of crap. And then when you go back to the hobby shop, they say, oh, that'll do you. Don't worry about that. That'll do you. Nylon gears. Oh, I'm just so disappointed with Horizon and their distribution network on this. Because as I say, this also is a Horizon servo. What do you do? I mean, okay, every now and then you get, you know, a dud will come through, but this one's got two problems. Crappy soldering and the bent output shaft. Should be a warranty replacement, but the dealer sold them 2 plastic geared servos as a replacement. Whoa, it's no wonder hobby shops are going down the gurgler. What a shame. So I'm going to have to see what I can do. Maybe I can use the pot shaft out of this one, but this is a plastic geared servo, that's a metal geared servo. I don't know if the pot shafts are the same. I'll have to play around. Shouldn't have to do this. The guy spent a lot of money buying this model. He expected buying Horizon, you know, product made by Horizon. He'd be getting something that worked really well, didn't have to fart around with all this crap. But he's having to fart around with all this crap. So I'm not impressed. Horizon, I'm sorry, but you get a big thumbs down from me on this. Really, really bad. Okay, I've just spent the best part of an hour trying to get that servo mess sorted out. I had to replace the wires from the PC board to the feedback potentiometer because they just fell off. Some of them just fell off just in moving things around. There was no mechanical support for those wires. And so just with the movement involved, the damn things come off. And I mean, if you look here, oh, you probably can't see, but anyway, there's no mechanical support either there or on the feedback pot. So these wires fray, and also one of the motor wires came off the board on the other servo, just with moving things around. That's going to happen in the air if you've got any vibration. So those are a real, oh, those servos, geez, they're crap. Anyway, I thought, well, I can't really criticize one without looking at some others. So I've got just out of my box of split servos here, it's a metal geared servo from HobbyKing, I think it is. Yeah, it's one of the, I don't know which one it is, but let's take that apart and see if it's any better. It's a hell of a lot cheaper. Is it any better? Well, I wish the bags were bloody better. You can't get into the damn things. Just the only way to get into it is to rip the top off. It's cheap. I hate these cheap bloody Chinese plastic bags. The Ziploc ones, they just don't open all the time. So here we go. Anyway, here we go. That's it. What model is it? I don't have my glasses on, but I'll have a look. It's a 15178 or 6B, I don't know. Anyway, you can probably see it better than I can because I'm trying to look through the monitor. There it is. That's the one. Let's take it apart, see how well it's built, see if it has the same flaws as that Horizon Hobby one. The first thing I notice is that the screws are through the bottom on this one, not on the top. So probably it's just a design choice, I suppose. I don't think it's making any difference to the actual servo itself. This is actually a slightly smaller servo in terms of width than the, or in terms of one of the dimensions than the Horizon one. I don't know what the specs are because I don't have the specs for the Horizon servo either. So I just say that, you know, they look similar and it's not really much we're looking for except the quality of build. And that will be a very telling situation because as I say, these are the budget servos. These are the ones you buy for a song. How do they compare to the ones that you pay for a premium brand price? Okay, so now in theory, oh, it comes apart in multiple stages. Let's take the bottom off. Come on, come on. What do we have inside? Let's take a close look at this with the macro, see how well this is built. Well, once again, there's no mechanical support for the soldered connections, but at least the soldering is a bit better. If we take this out here, you can see, if we look at the bottom of the board, see those wires there, they're just soldered on. There's no hot snot or anything else there providing support. So with vibration, they would fray and break off. Same with the motor wires, but overall, the quality of soldering is significantly better. And the wire is actually a little more flexible, I think, than the wire that was in the Horizon servo. Also on the pot there, you can see there's no mechanical support, but there is a little plastic plate there which might relieve some of the strain on the actual wires where they join onto the pot. So I'd have to say this still isn't fantastic, but it is probably marginally better than the Horizon. And when you consider the difference in price, that makes this better value in my book. The circuit board seems well designed, well laid out. There's some little bodgy things here, like there's a little capacitor across those two pads there. But I noticed the same thing on the Horizon across the motor connections. There was a ceramic capacitor bodged in across the thing. So yeah, I mean, who knows, they may even have come from the same factory, you don't know. But I would rather stake my model on this, to be honest, than on the Horizon one. That Horizon one was just too bad. So there you go. You don't expect miracles when you buy a cheap servo, but you know, you do expect it to work and to not come with a bent output shaft and wires that are falling off. So I'll give the win to the HobbyKing servo. And here's the gear set from that servo. Those gears look much nicer than the ones on the Horizon. It's all metal gears. There's no plastic cogs. Notice that Horizon metal geared servo had a couple of plastic gears, which, you know, are supposed to be sacrificial, but to be honest, I don't see the point in having a metal geared servo if you're going to run plastic gears in it. It just seems stupid. This seems much better engineered. And yes, the output shaft on the servo is straight, unlike the Horizon one. So all around, it's just better designed, better engineered. Yeah, I'm sorry, Horizon. You know, HobbyKing have trumped you, mate. So there you go. In summary, you can pay $32.50 in New Zealand for one of these crap-ass plastic servos with brittle wires and poor soldering from Horizon, Parkzone, I think the New Zealand distributor is called HOT, and get piss poor backup and service. Or you can spend a fraction of the money and buy a HobbyKing servo, probably a whole lot of other wun-hung-low brands of servos too, which you're not getting this wonderful name here, but by the same token, you're not paying the earth for something that's really rather crap and disappointing. And sure, you won't have the backup and support of a local retailer or a local dealer, but when they sell you a cheap little plastic geared servo to replace a metal geared one that was faulty out of the box, which should have been under warranty, you know, you got to ask, what's that backup and support worth? This isn't the first time I've had issues with Horizon. If you recall, there's the E-Flite Piper Cub, the big electric cub that was on my XJet channel, and it crashed because of a well-known problem that the ESCs had a beck that shut down when they got too warm. And that crashed that big cub. When the owner of that went back to the local Horizon distributor, they said basically bugger off, we're not interested. Yeah, so is the brand name worth anything? Certainly in this country I don't think it is, and who knows? You give me your comments. What do you reckon? Have I been too mean picking holes in everyone's favourite products? Or is it just a case of I'm calling a spade again? Or have I just been unlucky? Is this just the RC Model Review's curse that if there's a dud, I'll get it? In this case, the brand new metal geared servo was a dud, and the replacement was a dud on the part of the retailer that sold it to someone who they shouldn't have, because it's the wrong servo for the job. Oh, I don't know. Frustrating. Anyway, I'm going to do some flying today. So there you go. Put your comments in the place provided by YouTube. And if you've got questions, put them there too. I'll do my best to answer them. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I will clear my bench and get on with some reviews now. But I felt this is something you had to see. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.